Hey guys! Today I am going to do a writing lesson. This writing lesson is going to be focused on feelings and how we can incorporate feelings into narrative writing. This writing strategy is a strategy that comes from this book. It's Jennifer Saravello Writing Strategies book. Before I get too much into the strategy itself, I wanted to take some time and revisit what narrative writing is. So, a narrative is something that tells a story. Narratives can be real stories or they can be made up stories. Within narrative writing and within those stories, there are characters, and the stories oftentimes talk about the feelings of those characters. So, times when they felt happy, times when they felt sad, and so on. So, this writing strategy today, we are going to start with feelings, and then we are going to think about times that we felt those feelings and maybe use those to write about at a later time. All right, so my chart here, I have in the first column the face. So I'm going to draw how each feeling would look. I then have the feeling, so I'm going to write the name of that feeling. And then my last column, I'm going to write about an idea when I was feeling that time. I'm first going to start with the feeling of happy. I'm going to first draw a happy face. I'm then going to write the word happy. I am going to use an example. So when I did my narrative writing previously in previous videos, I talked about a time that I had went to camp. So I am going to use my narrative writing that I've already done, and I'm going to say that when I went to camp with family, I was happy. The feeling is happiness. And the idea that I came up with of a time that I feel happiness is when I go to camp or when I went to camp with my family. My next feeling is going to be different than happiness. I'm actually going to choose the feeling of sadness. So I drew a sad face, I wrote the word sad, and now as a writer, I want to think of a time that I felt sad. So I felt sad when the weather was not good at camp when I took vacations as a child. So the feeling was sadness or being sad. And the idea that I put is that I was feeling sad when the weather was bad and when it ruined our trip. So, excuse me. I made a spelling error. So, as any writer, if you notice mistakes in your writing, you certainly can go back and fix them at any point in time. As I was saying, so when I went to camp in the summer with my family as a child, we would do everything outdoors. We would go for hikes, we would go swimming, we would ride our bikes, we would play on the tire swing. So certainly if it's raining, I can't do a lot of that. So that is a time I felt sad. Moving on, a time that I felt scared. So I drew my scaredy face, I wrote the word scared, and now I'm going to write a time when I have felt scared. So for scared, I put that a time I have been scared is when I took my first plane ride. So going on a plane is a scary experience, and that is a time that I remember feeling scared. Last but not least, I want to think about maybe a time that I was angry. I drew an angry face. I wrote the word angry. And now, as a writer, I want to think of a time that I have been angry. I remember feeling when I dropped my phone and my phone broke. Once your phone screen shatters, that can certainly make someone or make myself feel angry. So, to review, if you are writing a narrative piece of writing, so if you're going to write a story and you're going to talk about a character with feelings, you can use this writing strategy of starting with feelings to help you come up with that story. So I have 4 different feelings here. I have happy, sad, scared, and angry. I've come up with ideas of when I felt each of those feelings, and now I could take any one of these feelings and ideas and use it in my narrative writing. This is something that may be beneficial or may be helpful. Bye-bye.